Alex, wonderful to have you here. Thanks for joining this conversation. Just to kick things off, can you just introduce yourself, your role, and maybe share a bit about your experience, please?
Yeah, cool. So my name's Alex. I head up the sales team at Finimize, B2B. So I've been in sales for a number of years now, selling myself, building out teams from scratch, C to Series B, scale ups. I've tried a bit of everything and yeah, I love it. Difficult, tough, challenging, but pushes me to my limits, which I like.
Amazing. So why did you originally decide to join the Sales Confidence membership?
But to be honest with you, like when I went through my journey with Awesome, when I joined there as the individual sales rep and then got promoted up to head of sales, I didn't have much support in the sense of I was one of the first sellers there, and there wasn't a ton of like sales leadership experience. Obviously, we had great people in the business, don't get me wrong. We didn't have a VP of sales or anything at the time. So a lot of it was just figuring it out from scratch yourself, which is a great learning experience for me. Sometimes a bit more expensive for the business because obviously you have to try different things and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And I think what was possibly would have helped me even more would have been having access to a resource like Sales Confidence, because you can learn from other people who have gone through that journey. And I am a big believer that to get the best results, you need to have the lived experience and do it yourself anyway. So I think there's a lot of value in that. But even just having like sounding boards and having conversations with other people is good. And when I joined Finimize, I thought, okay, this time around, I'm going to take the learnings from my previous company, but maybe I can pepper it with some learnings with people who have gone through this experience, particularly scale ups like Finimize. And that was initially what sort of made me think, what resources are out there? And I knew I knew a bit about Sales Confidence. So I reached out, and obviously, fortunately, you built this membership. So that's how I ended up in it.
Fantastic. I know, obviously, your role, you've become a major contributor to the membership now because you run one of our peer group circles, and we'll get to that in a minute. But first, I just do want to focus on kind of you and your own experience before we learn how you've got involved and stepped up into the peer group leadership position. What's been, and this might link to it or not, but what's been your most enjoyable favorite part of the Sales Confidence membership for you?
For me, taking like the peer circle leadership part aside, it still is like these circles because I learn from them too. It's just as much as a learning for me as it is for the guys and girls that are in the group. And as I said, I think building relationships with other people who walked a mile in your shoes is like great, because like I said, you can't get that from Google. It's impossible. Obviously trying to find out how you do this, how you do that. I think for me, that would be one of the best parts about the membership, and there's a ton of value in it. I see myself doing it and being a part of it for a long time. The events also I think are really good, again, for building relationships and networking with people. I think is really powerful and great to be obviously a part of a community as well, like a sales community. I think there's a lot of value in communities as well, and I think that aspect brings a lot to it. And yeah, I just think you just don't know what you know. And I think the best way that I can sum it up is every time I speak to someone within the membership, I learn something new, whether it's like an SDR, a sales leader. Hopefully I've not missed anyone out, customer success, but everyone's got something interesting to share because everyone's going through their own journeys. Everyone's therefore coming across different challenges. And again, it's that lived experience, business to business, person to person, that's where the value is. So Sales Confidence obviously connects that together and it gives you access to it. I think that's where it's powerful.
And if you had to highlight where this has impacted your life and career this year, where would you say there's been some kind of real impact for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like my current role is going really well. We've achieved a lot of great things, both in terms of revenue, but also scaling the team and all this sort of stuff. But with it, obviously, naturally, I'm still learning a lot in what I'm doing, and you come across challenges. And as I mentioned, back in maybe my awesome days, it would be a little bit more, right, I just need to figure this out myself. And it can sometimes lead you down the wrong path quicker, and then you have to revert back. But also it's like tougher sort of psychologically as well, because obviously you're just keeping that on your own shoulders. But I think where it's helped me is as I've come across challenges with Finimize, having this like group where I can just say, hey, this situation's come up or this situation's come up. What do you think? Has been great because you're getting advice from people that have been through similar situations you can apply or at least consider and think about. but also it's your, I wouldn't want to say therapy, but it's like you're like able to let that go and not have to keep that burden just within yourself. And there's definitely some therapeutic benefits to that, I would suggest as well.
Nice. That's very cool. And I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for sharing. So thinking about the peer group aspect of like your role, because you run one of the peer groups, like how do you make sure that everybody gets value from it, everybody's heard, and like how is that experience been for you being a peer group leader?
Yeah, I'm just very much someone that I see my role within these circles as just like stimulating conversation and talking points, very much letting the calls and conversations flow very naturally and very organically. When I first started doing it, I remember we were like, let's create this long list of different things that we're going to go through and we're going to learn about. But that quickly got put to the side because what I realized and what we realized as a group and a team was that the best way to run these circles was what problems are you trying to solve right now? Because obviously, like I mentioned, we're all doing these things. We're all trying to achieve in these different roles. And therefore, we're coming across problems and challenges just organically from our businesses day to day, week to week. And that would be what would steer the conversation. And I just see my job as like maybe highlighting certain points or bringing people into conversations and things, very much like how you run, I guess, your sessions that you do, James. But I think that's good, giving people like a room to talk. At least it has great benefits for me. Like I'm sure it does for lots of other people too, but I can genuinely say that it works really well. And that's how I see myself, I guess, helping the others. And yeah, we get lots of good feedback. So
No, I love that. That's great. And we've had some great feedback from those peer groups and we want to build on that. Is there something unexpected that you've experienced? Like you just didn't think that was going to occur or be part of being part of this membership or this community? And you've been like, okay, that's been quite good.
it's a good question. I think maybe how it became such a regular part of what I was doing. I maybe originally thought it would be something I would just dip in and dip out of sometimes. But I think what happened is you get to know people and you build relationships with people, and then you start attending the events and being a part of the circles. And it becomes almost like a regular part of your sales, like L&D and training and support in a way you could say. Whereas initially I was maybe just thinking, oh, I'll just see what it's like, attend the odd event and happy days. But yeah, I would say maybe I didn't expect it to be so embedded in my week to week.
Brilliant. Thanks for sharing your experiences. If someone's listening to this, and they will be, and they've heard you share your experience, but they're still on the fence about joining the Sales Confidence membership, what would you say to them?
I would say give it a go, get involved, speak to people that are already in the circles and in the community. For me, it's made a big difference. And as I say, I'm not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. And as I say, it becomes a bit of an always on part of your career and how you navigate the many challenges and problems that arise from your roles, which naturally it does for all of us. It's a very, lots happen within sales. I would say, give it a go. See what you think and make the decision for yourself. But it worked for me, and I'm sure it would for you.
Amazing. Alex, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you involved, and I really appreciate your contributions to making this happen. We'll speak to you soon.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers.